Hey Jason, how are you doing?
Hey, Saj.
Yeah, what's up, man? You were getting error.
Hang on a minute. Just trying to get my video feed up. Can you see me?
No.
Oh, okay. Right. Hang on a sec.
I can see Robin and Mandy are online as well, but probably they've joined in from the link in the chat. Let me just tell them that whoever's got link for the video, they can actually log in from there. So then,
Okay.
otherwise
Yeah.
they can just be like spectators otherwise.
Nice, man. Yeah, I can't see anything.
But as in, like you
Is
can't
it
see me
video?
here because I've got my webcam off at the moment. That's
Oh, right. Okay. I've enabled my one. You can't see me though, can you?
no, actually.
Oh, I can see you. No, I can see you now, man.
Because after have you turned your camera on? Because you know when you move your mouse on the top, it will
Yeah.
bring up like 6 different icons and
Oh, yeah. Got it.
yeah. So if you turn the
Oh,
web
nice.
on,
Okay.
then it would show up.
Hang on a sec. Let me click on that icon. Okay. Yeah, nothing's happening, man. I'm clicking on the icon, but oh,
Hi.
yeah, weird. Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
The Francis.
Jason, you know the
Yes, that's it.
Hey, nice to meet you.
fifth icon which is for the
Thank you.
settings. If you click on settings,
Oh yeah.
it
Okay.
will bring up the menu for the webcam. So if you got more than one webcam, then you have to select the one which is active right now.
Right. Okay. I got one. That's the one that's listed. That's in there. So default. Yeah, default. It seems to be working. Save. Yeah, it's weird. It just says turn camera on, but when I click there, oh look, it says turn camera off. So it's on now. Should be able to see me.
We can only see your picture. For some reason, it's like a still image with your kid.
Ah, okay. Well, when I put my mouse cursor over the icon, it says turn camera off.
So
So
it's definitely on then. Maybe it's not broadcasting then for some reason.
hang on.
Have you got a built-in webcam as well? Maybe you could turn to that one then.
No, I haven't. I'm on my desktop PC at the moment. I've got my Microsoft LiveCam software on, so I can see it in that. Maybe I'll turn that off.
Oh yeah. That's why.
Oh right, that's
feeding
why.
to that.
Oh right,
why.
okay.
So you need to turn that off because then obviously it's not broadcasting at two different places from one.
Oh, I see. Right, okay. Right. Nice.
It always happens like whenever you do first hangout, that kind of things always happen.
It's a learning experience, the first one, isn't it? How to actually get things set up properly.
On the first day, I actually took the learning lesson for the class, the private label class that I'm taking.
Yeah.
It was 45 minutes to get started.
Well, hopefully it won't take that long today, man.
I'm just going to go on to the Facebook group quickly and tell people that they don't log in from the standard link, otherwise they won't be able to jump. Because I can see Robin and Mandy are on the panel as well, but probably they haven't come through the actual link that they should have if they have received the link. So give me 1 second.
Cool. Right. So yeah, how did it go with the lawyer?
Yeah, it went well.
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions, and I've actually set up another appointment. So I was waiting to fix the notes for everybody because it jumped back and forth a bit, and I realised it doesn't really make sense from like a beginner's perspective.
Right,
So
sure.
I've got another appointment with him. Will be on Thursday.
Right.
Yeah, I want to kind of try and make it a bit more like of a document in a way.
Right. Sure, yeah, good
But if
idea.
you've got any questions, you can always, send me a message and I can add it because I'm trying to, build a bit more of a relationship.
Right,
So,
sure. Yeah, I mean, I've because I'm not selling in US at the moment. I'm sure I'll have a lot more questions by the time I sell in the US. But I've basically trademarked my brand on the GovUK site, which is quite straightforward there.
yeah.
But it's obviously when I transition over to the US, that's when I'll obviously have all the questions then. But at this stage, because I haven't got to that stage yet, when I do get to that stage, I'm sure I'm going to have a load of questions at the time. But hopefully by that time, you would have already had those answered. So, which is obviously the stage you're at, isn't it? You're getting your brand over into the US at this moment in time.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Right.
The difficulty is, do you have a website?
I've got a website for not my brand, no. But I've got a
Okay.
website just basically for my usual computer services that I do, but
Right.
not for my brand, no. Uh,
Okay. Because I was looking at trademarking the brand and then also all the content and stuff, the IP for the website.
oh
So
right,
I was looking for like two answers, if you see what I mean.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
can help,
yeah.
you can help with both. If you've got questions for either one of those.
Right, right, sure, sure. So you've got a website for your brand set up already, have you?
No, that's what I'm working on, but I'm
Oh,
having other people do the images for me.
right, sure.
So there's like kind of things he was saying is, if someone takes the photo for
Yeah.
your image, they actually own the photo. So you have to make sure that they waive all of their rights and things like that. So
Oh,
getting those contracts in place.
right, right. So basically, you've got to get forms signed there as well, then.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you're getting someone to obviously design your whole website for you and everything.
Yeah, I'm putting all the content together.
Okay.
But then I'm also looking to have some guest writers as well, because I'm trying to make it more of a like a lifestyle website, and then it's like, and look at this product and look at that product, rather than just having
Right, right.
like I'm trying to like create like a line of products. Well, that's the idea anyway.
Mm. Mm,
To
yeah.
create a line of products. So I want to have like contributing writers. So I was just trying to figure out as well the IP as well as trademarking the brand.
Right, right. Sure, sure. Okay. So that sounds good. That sounds good. Are you actually selling at the moment then any products at all?
No, I'm not selling at the moment.
Right. Okay. Okay. So that's going to come soon then, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out this getting verified.
Oh, what in
Because
the UK? What or in the US?
in the US,
Right. Okay. Okay. So what? You're still in the verification stage then for your Amazon US account.
yeah,
Right. Okay.
I've only just I kind of did a bit back to front because I started working on the products and the supplier and the branding
Yeah.
first, and I was like, okay, then I'll do Amazon, and I didn't realize that it was quite as tricky as I've been reading about.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it was quite straightforward,
Yeah.
but
That's what I heard. But then listening to people that have actually done it, I mean, they don't say it's too complicated, but there's a lot more steps than you think that you need to know, and which is the whole point of this group, I suppose, is to try and clarify those steps that you need to take, so people that are new coming into it can easily transition over to US and know exactly the steps they need to take and what to do. So, which is the stage I'm at really, because I have no idea, how to, get yourself onto the US market and get yourself all protected and trademarked up. So I'm hoping that that's what this group will bring to the forefront, really. So yeah, it's great that you can, you've got access to that lawyer, which is a great step in the right direction for all of us, really. So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
hopefully people will have more questions as well. Throw at him on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, can you see me on video yet, Sarge?
Oh, Jason, I mean, whenever you actually are not talking, we can see your picture, but for some reason we can't see you actually live video.
That's bizarre.
Have you turned the maybe I think before you started before you logged into the Hangout,
Yeah.
you turned on your webcam, so probably your broadcast has been assigned to that. I guess if you log out and log in once again
Oh,
without
okay.
that particular software, then hopefully we should be live.
Right, I'll give that a go now then. Right,
Right,
back in a sec.
Hi Mandy,
Hi,
you alright?
I'm fine, thanks. And
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I'm good as well. I can see Milu as well, but I can't see picture. I guess a lot of people are trying to log in with too many different links. That's the issue that we're having here. Because with Google Hangout, you can only have like 10 people on the actual video panel.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked people who were not able to, who were not able, going to be live. Okay, yeah, we can see you now.
Hey, right, nice.
Technical skills help a little bit now, I guess.
Right, brilliant. That's better. Okay, yeah, you're right, Sarge. It's because I have to log in with my my local software off.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think when you started, you kept your, webcam software on, and that normally assigns the broadcast to that particular app. So,
Right, right, gotcha. Okay, I shall remember that in future. So it's three of us now. We've got Mandy there.
yeah.
Hello, Mandy. Nice to meet you.
And you, Jason?
Brilliant. And yeah, so where's Robin?
I can see. I mean, if you click on the room, the actual.
Oh, yeah.
I can see Robin, Bob, and I can see two Jason. So I'm assuming the other Jason is the one who,
That's it.
which is usually from my class.
Right, right. Okay, cool.
I'm not sure. He's never awake at this time, just like me. So I'm not sure whether it's him.
Hey, is there any way we can see like who's listening in and stuff, like how many people are actually in the group, you know, participate?
It shows me because you know when you want to be on the video panel, then it will show us as admins. So it's showing 4 of us are live as admins, which is all 4 of us we can see on the screen. And apart from that, we got another 3 attendees at the moment. So we got Robin, Bob, and another Jason.
Right. Cool.
So that's what we got. I did get a text from a few people this morning that they're running late. Some of them are going to join late, so I don't know. But this is recorded anyway, so whoever wants to watch it later on.
Right, nice, man. Cool.
They can.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was originally at 11 a.m., wasn't it? So,
yeah, no, but I knew that people are not going to make it.
No, right, yeah.
Even with 11:30, people don't make it on time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're lucky you told me last night before I went to bed.
Yeah.
An extra half an hour in bed.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's just, I think most of the private label entrepreneurs are used to, you know, like stay awake till late night.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm one of them. Not actually.
Yeah, I'm a late nighter too.
Yeah, you can't help it sometimes, can you?
Yeah, I think it suits our business anyways because we have to like keep talking to Chinese people. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. And then Scott's live show was at like 2 o'clock in the morning when I was watching that. When I first started watching that, that was at 2 in the morning.
Okay, yeah.
Till 4.
That's at 9 according to US time, isn't it? So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, right, brilliant. Okay, so hang on a sec. Let me just made some notes actually because I was watching your podcast, Sarge, and
Okay.
you got some good tips in there, man. So yeah, just wanted to just question you on a couple of them.
Yeah, that's fine. I think, you know what, I mean, I don't really get that much time nowadays to do like so much.
Right, sure.
I was hoping to do more, but then
Yeah.
the first group that like approached to me for the private label course, like most of them were UK people, and then somehow I just got into it. So it took me so much time like to build the course and the online portal. So
Right, sure.
getting like their PMs every like couple of minutes, they find something or they get excited about, they just like quickly text me. And keep replying. And like Jason, sometimes we're talking like at 4 or 5 a.m. as well.
Really? Wow.
And I've got one US student as well, so
Right,
she
sure.
normally texts around that time as well. So
Cool. How's that going in general though? Like, what direction are you going to take that in then? You're going to...
actually, I don't know. To be honest, I only wanted to do podcasts, if I'm very honest. But it's just like when I started this, I told Scott as well, I mainly wanted to start this because I wanted to have something especially for UK people. It's not that you can't learn private labeling from someone who's doing in the US, but for someone who has experience from the UK platform, and give you a little bit kind of knowledge and whatever. I mean, I've been on Amazon UK since 2011, even though I wasn't doing retail at that time. But 1.5 years, or almost now 2 years, almost 2 years now with private labeling. It's quite different sometimes because whatever you can interpret now, what's happening in US is completely different. Some of the products that sell in US are not going to sell yet.
Yeah, sure.
Right now I'm looking at Germany because for some reason, I don't know what the Amazon global team has been doing recently, but they have been approaching me from everywhere. So
Right.
the .com team approached me and they have listed all my products there now.
Okay.
So
Okay,
they
cool.
listed everything the way I wanted. So I'm just waiting to send my stock because I don't have enough stock at the moment.
Right, sure. That's always an issue, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and the German team did the same thing as well. But when I was studying Germany, I could see that whatever my best sellers in UK are not going to sell there.
Right,
But the variations that don't sell in UK are going to sell in Germany. So it's quite important to study the actual market as well because it's completely different what can sell here. And depending on when you compare US as well, whether the culture there is completely different than what you would find in UK. Say for example, if you go on Scott's group today, and when Scott said, leave me voicemail questions, you'll find more people like talking in and asking questions there. You ask the same thing in UK, people are a bit shy. It's just a different culture and how people get on. Especially, I've got like 4 guests now who I'm going to feature on the podcast episodes in in the near future. But some of them said, can I just answer your questions onto like a notepad or something, and then you can attach it on a blog. I said, no, that won't make sense. I want you to come on the show and speak. And first they were shy. They kept on saying no because they thought because I told them it was going to be Skype interview. They thought it was going to be like video.
Ah, right. I see.
Normally I'm shy myself of video as well. It's going to be audio interview. So somehow I managed to get 2 of them here now in probably next week or so.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's true.
Can I ask which platform did you start on?
I'm mainly still doing like 90% on UK itself because
I've just ordered some samples and I'm I can't make up my mind whether to start on the UK, start on the US, or both together.
I would say the only reason why I would say is start with your own home country platform is because irrespective of how good the supplier is, there are going to be like hiccups now. Right now as well, I don't know if you can see the boxes we have here at the moment, but I've got some boxes and I literally asked my box supplier for my product 2 to change the size a little bit, and probably I was tired that day as well because I only talked to them late night. And by mistake, I must have asked them to make it few more mm's, so just probably 1/4 of a centimeter. Now the boxes are so big that I'm gonna spend about 20-30 pence more on each item of the FBA cost. So all those things, when you send your product overseas, it's hard to especially rectify, and especially if your item then turns out to some kind of problem, there's no way that you will be able to test. Now, even if you sign up for an inspection company, they're going to not basically be able to check the way that you would check the product.
Well, that was one reason why I wondered whether it might be better to start on both, because then if I split the shipment and I find there's a problem when I get the UK version, then I can obviously do something about the US version before it gets to Amazon. Because I'm quite keen to sell on Amazon, but I am a bit wary of the fact that obviously I'd like to physically look at the product. So I'm thinking perhaps splitting it, sending most of the product to America, but sending a fair proportion here, so I can do a proper good quality control here. And then if everything's okay with the product I receive here, then I can be confident that it's okay in the US as well. So that's my thinking at the moment, but I haven't decided, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say even if you want to do a small shipment first in the UK, that would be better because, look, sometimes these, suppliers, whenever they do smaller orders and initial orders, they try to sometimes push out their existing inventory or materials that they have left over from the big orders that they get. And if they know that you're based in the UK and then you're sending your shipment to US as well, they'll probably send you the better ones in UK, and the ones that are kind of, a little bit here and there, they would just send it there. Because most of them, what they think is that if you're going to be a regular customer, you're going to come back to them and they'll, compensate you in the second order. And this happens quite a lot when I used to do in AliExpress. They'll send you the goods and they'll tell you, oh, I'm going to talk to the factory and get it sorted for you in the next order. Because then they're assuming that you're ordering second time, which is going to make them more profit. So if you're ordering, say, 500 and thinking of sending 400 to US and 100 to UK, you could rather just, pay them a little bit more, get 100 here, test them out a few times, not just one batch, because so many times you'll find products change and the materials change depending on where your products are in your second, third, and fourth shipment. For some reason, I think what happens is a lot of us get carried away that we want to launch in US just because there's so many resources available. Like, say for example, if you want to just find out the sales velocity, you use Jungle Scout or whatever the other softwares are. And then we hear about review groups, we kind of tend to hear about course and all those kind of things, that resources that are available, that we think that US is the best marketplace. But I have found, I have so much business in the UK that I haven't got time to actually do the other marketplaces.
That's okay. I like to hear that.
Yeah, so
that's good.
Just in the entire European marketplace, in totality, all these 5 marketplaces are bigger than US.
Right. Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So
I'm setting up my UK Amazon account at the moment. Bit of a pain.
Oh, you're still getting verified?
Yeah, I'm on my second bunch of documents.
That's the UK account.
Yeah.
Right. God, so many people have had problems.
I know.
5 minutes, to be honest. I mean, US, they didn't ask me any kind of documentation. I just had to fill up my UK business details, and that's it. I think the only reason I can suspect, why it's so strict at the moment in EU is because I think Amazon is trying to do more of Amazon lending and those kind of products. And if you go back and listen to, I think one of my episodes I did, and someone was asking me why they're actually kind of checking so much, because maybe the EU anti-money laundering laws are a bit more complex compared to US. And the other thing is, this is the first time they're trying to make available. I mean, I don't know if you have listened to my last episode, but they took an Amazon lending, loan for 84,500 just 2 days back, and funds arrived yesterday. So I think whenever they want to, like, obviously provide you funds like a financial authority, company, they might have to go through, certain verifications. So what they're doing is they're verifying everyone, to start with, so that they don't have to do that individually later on.
Yeah. I mean, I was pleased to see. In one way, I'm glad that I haven't had an account before, because I gather they've been sort of verifying people that have already had accounts for a while, and that's caused some people loads of problems. So I'm glad to get it over and done with before I've actually got stock going into Amazon in the first place. So that's. But I've just got some stock that got left over from a business that I started last year that didn't work out. So my plan is to send that into FBA, just to learn the ropes really, while I'm waiting for my product to come in from China.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, good plan.
And I'm off to China in October. Yay!
Wow. You're doing Canton Fair?
I am, yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I have plans as well, but then a part of my business is into a little bit of exports as well, which is normally quite active in October and November. So every time I keep missing it, but hopefully I should probably go this year. But let's see how it looks.
Yeah, that would definitely be an experience, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I think probably people just go there and get bewildered what they can see in front of their eyes. It's too much to get, but I think it should be a good experience if you go there. You get like so much, new ideas what you could work on in the future.
Oh, I agree.
We're like Christmas coming early.
Yeah, sure. Well, I hope it goes well. Look forward to checking out your experience there. That'll be nice. Yeah. And just don't give away too many product ideas.
I think there'll be quite a few.
I think there will be, yeah. Brilliant, that's great. Yeah, I thought you're on your podcast, Sarge, on for beginners. It's aimed towards beginners, isn't it? Really, beginning, which a lot of people in this group are beginning. Because Scott pushes the 10 by 10 by 1. Doesn't he? And then you've got the five step down approach, haven't you?
Yeah,
which I thought was which I thought was pretty cool actually, because I probably would have done that for my first product, because I like the idea of if you haven't got much budget, and you choose a product with at least 3 variations, if not more.
Yeah.
And then you choose the variation which is going to be the most successful first, and then you basically throw your money into that. And then once that gains traction, you can easily add products to your line without building up your BSR, without doing review blasts and all that stuff. Because it's all there.
One time, my product one at one time had more than 40 variations.
Right. And then obviously you can just throw the variations in without, because all.
So you look at and some of them are just without promotion. So I just assume that even though they won't sell that much, but as long as they can sell, a couple a day, it's just additional money that I'm making from the same ASIN. And with these like Scott says, 10 by 10 by 1, I could say 5 down approach. I think other people will say power of 5, where they say that we release 5 products with 5 variations into 5 different marketplaces. So these are all just framework. But what happens is whenever you try and start for the first time, you could go with some, you take whatever approach you find more appropriate for your kind of products. But then once you start selling, you'll build up your own kind of strategies and framework.
I think that's a great one. I think that's a brilliant one. Yeah, because when I was looking for my first product, I wasn't looking for things which had potential with several different variations, which is easy then to flesh out after you've kind of got the first variation down, the most successful one. Because my second product isn't really related to my first product, which I'm going to have to start again with the BSR, start again with the reviews, and it's a pain. So yeah, if you haven't got a lot of capital to begin with, I think that's a great way to obviously
Yeah,
get.
and I mean later on you can always come out with individual products, even though they might not have variations. But there's so many different techniques you can teach.
Yeah, sure.
And I think what happens is like even when I was going through my course, like the first two modules, and someone obviously asked me about the same thing as well. Should I? Because obviously everyone listens to Scott and so many different podcasts, and everyone has got different techniques to share. And I said just go for one which kind of goes with your product or gut instincts. Like day before yesterday, I was on Jake's webinar. I don't know if you normally attend Jake's webinar, but he had Will from US, and I think he said his technique was completely different. And after the webinar as well, I was speaking to Jake, and I said that it was not some. I mean, I was expecting his techniques to be different than what he actually came up on the show and said. And I said, and he said that he still has like a lot of followers on his Facebook groups and stuff like that. I said that's what happens when someone listens to like say either Scott, me, or anyone else who's been onto like these kind of industries. Then you connect with the person whom you're more comfortable, or you think those techniques are going to work for you. You should go for anyone. I mean, even in my class, I tell them. I mean, even if you listen to my first episode, I actually mention like Scott, Ryan, Daniel Moret, anyone, because it's not something that if people are listening to me, they shouldn't be listening to someone else.
No, I agree. Yeah.
And an author is telling you, if you read my book, don't read other authors' books like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a framework, I mean, I just told people in my course that if you're very confused and if you're listening too many things at the same time, then if you have actually come onto the course, then stick to the strategy that I'm teaching you, at least for your first product. If that doesn't suit you, then go out and spread your wings and try and learn other stuff. What suits you.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Sarge, could you put a link up to your course in the Facebook group, because I seem to have missed it. So I'd be interested to have a look at that. And when you talk about variations, is color enough of a variation?
Yeah.
So many techniques. I mean, people actually think of just like color or size. I've been building up like a bonus episode for my class as well, because I've got so many different ways you could actually bundle. Because when people think about variation, they could just think about like color and size variation, but there's so many other things you could do. Bundling is kind of a variation as well. So for an example, the one that I always, just like Scott keeps talking about, the garlic press, I always give out examples with the HDMI cable. So for example, if you got HDMI cable, not only you could have different size of HDMI cables. So some prefer a 2-meter cable, depending on their furniture and whatever they've got their TV and skyboxes. Someone would prefer like a 5-meter cable if they wanted to connect other consoles and stuff. Then you got apart from the size as well, you have colors as well. Some people are so picky even about the cables that's going to stand behind your actual TV stand. So you got that. Then you could always bundle with so many different experience. So most of the time when people have got cable, all the cables tied around, they buy tiebacks. So that could be your another bundle variation. So if other people, all the others are selling just HDMI cable, you have your listing pushed up on first page, which has a HDMI cable and a cable tie. Some people would prefer buying from you because they're getting both the stuff they need to get from you. If you throw in that, it will probably cost you like 1 or 2 pence cost, but whoever's buying is kind of getting an experience just from you straight away. So there's so many things depending on the product. As I said, no one can actually tell you how your variations could be, but there's so many different stuff you could combine and many different packages to come up with a variation.
Yeah, cool. I think it's a good idea to have that mentality when you're looking for a product as well, just to seeing how many types of variation is going to attract different people and the potential for that, because it's really good to fill that out over time.
Yeah.
So I thought
one thing I'm actually like telling even my people in the Facebook group as well for the podcast, that initially I would say that go in for something like an existing item which is already available. But once you know that particular product is selling, you need to either come out a variation which stands out a little bit, because we all can agree that with FBA there are advantages and disadvantages. Advantages is that you can kind of work from anywhere because your products are being shipped by someone else. It's giving people in China, India, and other places an advantage that they can send their products via FBA as well now. say for example, why we see people selling HDMI cables like iPhone cables, like £3 for £1 on eBay and other places? Because for us, if we want to survive in a country like UK and US, we need to make a certain amount of money to have a quality life. But for them, 5p a sale would convert good amount of money in their own currency.
Mm.
Yeah.
So my agent for my product one tells me that the usual salary there, if you convert that into dollars, is about $300. So, for workers who work in a factory. So someone decides that they want to sell, like a pound line items on Amazon and make, just like 5p each item. They could just sell 100 a day, make 5 pence, net profit out of that. And that's it for them. So you're never going to be able to compete on a very generic stuff. So either you come out with a generic product, but with add-on features along with good customer service, packaging experience, and a lot of other stuff, or you come out with a variation which looks like a little bit different or premium, which other people are not going into because the sales are going to be less. The easiest way actually I can explain is I don't know if you guys mind if I share something with you, but
Go for it.
this is just like to give you an idea. This was like the first webinar that I did with Jake. Actually, I had shown this item because when some people say that you need so many products to make money, you could actually just sell one product and make so much money out of one product. Let me see if I can share this. Okay, so this is what I normally. I don't know if you guys can see the shoes.
Yep.
Okay, so on the right, if you see, I normally term them as normal shoes. Even though the top one, the black one, is still shiny when I want it like a regular one. So if you go into shoes, like when people say that don't go into categories which are into top 100, every category you go, even though the BSR might be high, but when you go into its own subcategory, it's always going to be in top 100, most of them. So if someone is selling shoes, there are going to be top 100 shoes in shoes category. But then if I try to kind of find the products which are on the left-hand side. So say if I was selling a shoe, I wouldn't go for a regular shoes which is on the right-hand side because I know the market would be saturated with that. But if I release the one on the left-hand side, whether it's the black or the brown one, I know that if 100 people buy the shoes on the right and make, say, like £2 out of it, there would be at least 5 or 10 people out of 100 who would pick up the one on the left. But the sellers on the left are going to be less because they normally buy the products on the right because they want better turnout ratio. I want my margins better rather than selling so many products. That's why all the products that I sell are premium or they look completely unique.
Okay.
Most of the variation. And then once I go with the unique variation, then I release the regular versions of the brown and the black as well. So that when they end up, those are going to be bonus for me because my listing will be optimized and people are actually coming onto the listing. But that's all I teach. But then if you go in for something like, say, obviously when you're new, you're not that much experience, so you can't sometimes find items that probably are on the left-hand side. But say even if you started with the shoes on the right, you could probably have like a shoe box or like those. I don't know what the materials are called, but then you get these kind of bags. It's like a cloth bag which keeps your shoes safe, especially in winter as well. And we know in the UK when we got heating and everything on, the dampness would normally spoil your leather shoes if you got very expensive shoes. So there's so many things that you can attach to your regular version to make it better. Because when people see your reviews, they would know what your products have extra. And when people, when customers like some products, they would go out and probably write so much about you. I mean, I had one customer for my product one. At that time, I think I had about 35 variations live. He bought only 2 or 3 of them variations. One was for him, and then he bought for like his family as well. But he then went out and wrote all I think it was about 1 page long review. He wrote that on every 35 variation.
Love it.
And just a few months ago, there was one lady who actually emailed me that I'm kind of promoting someone there to write these fake reviews because how can someone actually go ahead and buy 35 variations from you? And I actually put it to my Facebook group because the day the guy actually wrote reviews on all 35 variations, I did a post on the Facebook group that you shouldn't be doing that technically because you haven't bought that. And he just said, I was so excited about your product and I'm just writing a generic review. So I'm not saying that I bought this. The ones that I bought, I mentioned that these were bought by me. And then they started like fighting, and other people got into the comments, and that particular I think review has about 29 comments now. So all of them are supporting the comments with the guy who actually left the review, and there's someone else who's fighting that you shouldn't be leaving the review and things like that. So when customers like your brand, sometimes they will go out of their way to support you.
Right. Yeah, that sounds good. Are your most successful products the ones with more variations then? Yeah. So you find that are your most successful products the ones with a lot of variations?
Yeah, I mean, technically I've got like 2 product lines, but then they've got so many variations that I keep myself busy. And I mean,
it's at 35. There's a lot of variations, isn't it?
Yeah, that was for product 1.
Right.
I have reached it down to now about 15, 20 because the others, because they sell less, I'm finding it hard now to send and keep a track of it on the FBA Center as well. So I'm trying to reduce that. I'm concentrating more on product 2. The thing that you need to know is quite surprising is the amount of time and effort it took for people like me to get our listings on first page without sponsored ad.
Oh, without sponsored ads?
Yeah, because when I started, there was no sponsored ad. There was so when you listed your product, you would be on page, I don't know, 1,000 or something like that. So you had to use completely different techniques to actually, get your products out there. You guys are so lucky that even though you have to spend money, I'm not saying you are not spending money on sponsored ads, which I can as well. But it's so easy that even though you might have 0 sales, your item would appear on page 1.
So how long has Amazon sponsored ads actually been around?
I think it's probably less than a year, if I can.
Really? Wow. Didn't know that. Okay.
And mostly sponsored ads. I mean, think about FBA as well. When I started, whether you were doing retail app or whether you were selling your own product, you wouldn't get buy box straight away.
Yeah.
When you were doing retail app. So I'll say, for an example, if I was selling a toy and you have been selling toy for 6 months, even if I cut down my price by £5 less than yours, I would still not appear on the buy box. I would only show up when someone clicks on, where it says 6 new or 5 new from this. But now it's made so easy that you might have 0 feedback, but if you send your items in FBA, you're gonna get buy box.
Yeah, yeah. That's the way to do it, isn't it?
It's really easy for new guys, to be honest. So I'm not jealous in a way, but I've got to keep moving.
Brilliant. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I've also variations is good. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be incorporating that into pretty much all my products now. With keywords as well. I think it's Dan Moody that posted something on the Amazing Seller. Did you see that post? And he said, basically, Amazon don't index search terms in bullets and descriptions at all, only in the heading and the back end.
Yeah, that's normally true. Yeah, and I think to be very honest, I am a bit different. I mean, I don't really, even on my own listings, sometimes I don't use that many keywords because I have a different theory, and as I said, everyone has different approach. I try to go with the kind of saying, don't try to be like jack of all and master of none. I try to promote my products with the keywords which I know are the main keywords. So say for an example, if I was selling HDMI cable, I know that some people might search a 2-meter HDMI cable or a gold-plated HDMI cable or whatever. But I keep on targeting for the first 6 months, majority of the time, just for the HDMI cable. Yeah, I know I would get sales from other variations, but especially say for someone who's starting with limited budget, if you spread your $25 or $50 or £50, whatever you want to spend on ads, on say 10 different keywords, then each keyword has an opportunity of only £10 or £5. But if I target only one keyword with that £50, I'm utilizing all my resource on that one keyword, which would take my product up. Now, product 1, the main variations, 2 or 3 of them make me about 150, 200 sales, and they are all within top 100. They normally stay within top 10, but they at least stay within top 100 because I kept on targeting only one keyword at a time.
Really? Right. Sure. That's interesting. Yeah, because I was always under the impression that you need to get as many keywords as possible, hundreds and thousands of them, and
the problem is then you will not rank for those keywords straight away. And then my concept is, and depending on, as I said, it all depends on your product as well. So if your product, say, probably is making you £10, and every 5 clicks of £1 are getting you 1 sale, then it's fine. Because even if you're not ranking, you'll still keep getting sales as long as you're doing sponsored ads for those keywords. What I try to do is, once my product starts ranking on the keywords that I have gone after, then I take the sponsored ad off of that keyword, because it's already on sale. Why someone would need to click on the sponsored ad and I would need to pay for it?
Right, sure. Okay, cool. Is that
Steve?
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm not too bad.
Hey, man. Cool.
I got slightly held up. My brother and mum are down from Singapore, so
Nice.
they wanted to hire a car, and we got stuck there for about 2 hours because they hadn't prepared the car.
Stuck in a car for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Fun,
But there you go. I'm here now. So, yeah, how are you guys doing? What have I missed?
We're just basically.
It used to be 82,000 at the moment for the VAT. I think someone asked in the chat. You need to sell over 70k to be VAT registered. No, it's 82,000 now.
Oh, it's 82, isn't it? Yeah, it's gone up.
Hi, Stephen. Where are you at, and what are you doing?
I'm based in London. I've just started the Amazon sort of business probably about 2 months now. I think briefly spoke to Jason over Messenger before, but my background is actually programming as well. I'm a developer, but I've also got a second business which isn't a competitive area, but I'm very used to sort of all the AdWords PPC stuff. So I thought I'll dabble with Amazon's PPC, which is completely inferior to Google AdWords in terms of what I'm used to in AdWords. So it's a little bit of a learning curve there. I've started with one product which isn't doing too well because I took on without realizing when I was doing my research. I mean, it looked like it would sell, etc., but then it's actually a very competitive product. So I've got a few decisions to make, one of which is whether I mean, it's not a product I want to completely ditch because I think the brand is quite good, and it has resulted in some sales. But I think based on just purely how much I would have to give away to get it up to a level that I would be happy with, I'm considering launching a second product in a less competitive area, getting that working, and then throwing some money at this other product to get that working as well. Because I mean, I've got the sample here with me, and it's actually a really nice product. Made a few mistakes, but it's one of those things you sort of learn.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the problem that you need to get a lot of reviews? Is that?
Yeah. So I think my biggest competitors got something like and a couple of them have sort of 1,000 odd reviews or thereabouts. And if you go with say some of the giveaway services, they kind of claim a very high percentage. I haven't seen that yet in terms of how much you give away and how much actually gets reviews on there. And now with Amazon, obviously, filtering up reviews and dumping reviews as what you have to be really careful about where you're going to get your reviews from as well. So if I was to go with 1,000 giveaways, I mean that is a lot of money for me to be throwing at the one product, not knowing. I mean it's a massive risk, not knowing if it's going to work. So I would rather spend that money on a second product in a less competitive area, get maybe 200-300 giveaways, get those going, and then do some PPC and see what works and get that up. And if the nice thing about Amazon PPC, I think, from what I've seen from Scott's podcast, etc., and the people who have actually had quite a bit of success, is that you do have a very good returns on investment, unlike some other markets where the returns is actually fairly small. This is a tangible thing that you're actually effectively selling, and there's a lot of money for you to sort of do your PPC right. You filter out the keywords that don't actually convert and just focus on the ones. I think Saj was just mentioning that you sort of just do and focus on the ones that actually convert for you, right, Saj?
I'm sorry.
You just basically bid on the keywords to actually convert, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying, as I said, none of the concepts are wrong, because you could probably enter some, but then sometimes it all depends on a product. Now, what I can think of, so let me just quickly think of an example. Say for an example, like an iPhone 6 case, which I recently bought because I have an iPhone 6. I mean, how many different keywords people are going to type for an iPhone 6 case? So it all depends on your product. If your product is something which people could probably use, say, like for sports as well, for gifts as well, for Mother's Day gift as well, for a Father's Day gift as well, then obviously you can have so many different keywords, because then they would bring you so many sales. But if I was selling a HDMI cable, I mean, how many different type of keyword people are going to type for HDMI cable?
Yeah. I think the main thing, you know, when you're launching, you know, Amazon allows you to do the auto suggestion. I think that I've seen a lot of comments where people say it doesn't convert, but I think one of the good things about that is that it actually shows you what keywords Amazon likely on its own likely to show your products on, and then you can set up a manual campaign, do a few, you know, take a few of those keywords, put them in a manual campaign, and put a certain budget and a pay-per-click on those keywords and see what works.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the easiest way as well. I think the only issue I find a little bit with the auto campaigns as well, based on what I've learned because I was given the sponsored ads. Initially, they didn't allow everyone to go ahead with sponsored ad when they started. They cherry-picked some of the sellers, and they said that, do you want to run it? And I remember when I used to run my ads, you would hardly see like 2 people on most of the keywords, because they didn't allow everyone.
Right.
I don't know about US, because I never sold in US at that time. But in UK, they only had, like few people they had allowed to start with the sponsored ad. And what was happening is, my product was showing for weird kind of products. So, say for example, if I was selling HDMI cable, my product was showing in kitchen category as well.
Yeah.
And it still happens. It still happens a lot. But I think because it's quite new for them as well, it's going to evolve. I mean, look at the estimated bids as well. Now, the products that I sell, it shows me the estimated, the maximum what people are bidding at the moment is about 25 pence. But it takes me about 80 to 90 pence to reach on the first page. So it's not really that kind of, the reports and everything are not really quite effective. But we all know it's something like a test phase, so it's going to evolve day by day. It's always going to get better anyways.
Yeah, I mean,
depends on how much money you've got. So, say for example, you got 1,000, money for 1,000 units, and you can give out 300 units. Some of my students are at the moment as well. They don't have that much money. Some of them don't even have enough funds to actually launch their product.
Yeah, I mean, my first order was like 100 units. But now I'm considering whether I get 500 units of this product, or whether I just research a second product, get a sample this time around, because the first product I actually never got a sample. Which was one of the mistakes, but I got the sample after I started selling, and actually it turned out that the product's not too bad. So the quality was alright. So I was fortunate, I think, but I wouldn't recommend anyone else doing that. And the thing is, I sell in the US, so I
was going to ask. I was wondering where you were selling.
Yeah, I sell in the US, so I go straight from the supplier to FBA in the US. So actually, before I started selling, I never actually saw the product in my hands, which is not something I would actually recommend anyone doing.
Did you have anybody inspect it, Siva, at all?
No. I think the guy I've been speaking to, he's kind of like an agent for the factory. So but obviously. It was a small order, 100 units. I thought, you know what, it's 100 units, and the way I look at things is that I want to get it to market as quickly as possible with not a lot of issues. So I opted, rather than going down the wire transfer route with my supplier, I thought I'll go down the PayPal route. I paid the 4.5%. It's a lot of money to pay towards the PayPal charge, but you know what, it's a learning. I put that down to a learning. And I went with the 4.5% because that was effectively my protection. If they didn't deliver the order or anything, I can just do a PayPal claim after that and then say, I didn't get my order. So that was my protection, because they, not a lot of companies, especially with Alibaba, they don't like escrow because they have a lot of charges to pay towards escrow, and sometimes I think Scott's mentioned this in his podcast. You can try and negotiate, saying you go halfway with the escrow payments, etc. Otherwise, you pay the escrow charge and you do it that way if you wanted that sort of protection level. But yeah, I mean, I chose the US to sell.
Cool. Yeah, how much is the escrow charge then compared to PayPal?
I'm not sure actually.
It's 5% at the moment.
Is that the same? Is it? Right.
They get charged 5% basically.
Oh right, okay. So it's a little bit more then. It's but still 4.4%. If you're shipping direct from China to USA to get that protection, that's not that much really. If you think about it.
Much, no, I mean at the end of the day, you have some sort of protection, but I'm considering at the moment. I'm looking at sort of, because obviously you are selling in the US, everything is in US dollars, you do have the exchange rate loss. So I'm considering options around that by using, I think there's a company which I just recently met, they're called, sorry?
Currency Direct.
Yeah, that's right, Currency Direct, yeah. I looked at, I've been speaking to Currency Direct about it, but the thing with Currency Direct is that there is no protection with your money, because you effectively tell them, I've got $5,000 to pay a supplier in China. They take the pounds equivalent. They sort of negotiate the price for you, or you negotiate the price with them, etc. And then they will just do a US dollar transfer to the supplier directly. So it goes straight to the bank account. So there's no real sort of protection on that side. And
that was Currency Direct, did you say?
Currencies Direct, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, but the nice thing about that as well is that they can set up the other one, which is the e-collection account, which basically means that when Amazon pays you, it pays into the US bank account as well, which you can then withdraw later on into your UK account, but it's all on a fixed rate, so you don't actually have the bank charges that come with, because Amazon convert the US amount into a UK into pound sterling. And then you sort of lose quite a lot of money on that exchange, because they don't use the best exchange rate.
And the other thing, presumably you could use that US account to pay your supplier.
You can't. No.
You can't?
No, you can't. And that's for tax reasons. HMRC want to see every movement of every penny that goes into foreign accounts. Okay. So it has to come back into your UK account. But to do that, to pay a supplier, you kind of withdraw it, but then they push it straight back into your other account, which means that you don't sort of lose any and lock it up as well.
Okay.
Cool.
Francis, where are you and what are you doing?
I am trying to get verified on the .co.uk and on .com.
Double whammy.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing retail arbitrage in the UK, and I'm selling my product in the US. But I've been considering selling some units in the UK as well, because there's not a lot of competition for my product here. But I'm just trying to get verified, and obviously then just start off whichever one comes back first, in a way. But I think .com is more straightforward from what I've seen and the process I'm going through. But I'm not really sure about .co.uk, because I've heard it's really tough. So that's why I was trying to figure out how people manage to get verified. I saw in the chat that you need to send off your letter from HMRC. So is that after you get your letter back from Companies House?
It's yes, it's bizarre.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a limited company that you're registering.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Most of the time, I mean, I've seen if you got a limited company and when you register for Amazon account, if it's already live on Company House, it doesn't really take that much time. It just sometimes for some random people, if you get into a loop of sending documents, I don't know, these people are either not trained properly or they don't have any clue what they're doing, and it just they keep asking for silly documents, which sometimes it doesn't make even sense. For me, they didn't even ask. Within 5 minutes, I was kind of registered. The advantage now, I think, in a better way, especially if you're already in the UK, is that you get daily withdrawals once you're verified. But if you're selling in US and if you're on a tight budget, then you have to wait for 14 days for every withdrawal. That's how it used to be in UK as well. But since they started the verification, you can withdraw your funds every 24 hours. So every night, like after 12, I just go ahead and withdraw my funds. So it helps you in your cash flow as well.
Does it cost you to withdraw the funds daily?
I'm sorry?
Does it? Do you have to pay to withdraw the funds daily?
It's just the same thing, but initially, as I said, you had to wait 14 days, which is still active in US. So after every 14 days, you'll have an automatic disbursement. But now you can just
yeah, Amazon.com pays you every 2 weeks. Yeah, Amazon.com does pay you every 2 weeks.
So that's the advantage of UK at the moment. I think that's the first thing they have ever done for UK earlier than US. Otherwise, you have to wait for all the features which are available. Like just to look about, like the Amazon Seller app as well. Something so simple. They had that in US for such a long time. God knows what they had problem. Why wouldn't they release that simple app in UK for so long?
Yeah, well, I think they have probably a lot more sellers out in the US, and I think that's where they probably get a lot more of their business.
Yeah, I think so. It's much better. At least I can, I can actually proudly tell, okay, at least I can withdraw my money daily, and you guys can't. One good positive thing we can have from the UK.
Yeah.
That's good.
Cool.
I think one thing is that I'm seeing now that Amazon is becoming more and more kind of serious with the third-party sellers, and you can see that reflected in their I think earnings statement as well, which said I think their 40% of the profit was from the fees and everything that they charge from third-party sellers. Initially, they never allowed anything to third-party. Forget about sponsored ads. Every time even when I used to do big retail app, I used to see all those like lightning deals, and I used to email them, why can't we feature on lightning deals? And they said, no, that's only reserved for you, like Amazon itself. So whatever they sell, they would only allow that. But then last year they started the sponsored this lightning deals in UK. Luckily, I've been picked up most of the times to feature on whatever they start in UK. So I did have my first product on the lightning deals as well last year when they had the pilot batch. And I can see why actually they did that last year, because they were probably already planning for the Prime Day deals. So they wanted to do a test run. But it's good. I think once you get experience, I think they are much more, contactable now. So I've got my FBA manager. He normally sends me an email if my stock is running out in the FBA centers. He got me onto the Prime Day deals as well, which was great. I'm still on the Lightning deals as well. I normally go out and do Lightning deals, for some of the products like every couple of days. I literally just stopped last week because I was running out of stock on most of them. So
you making most of your profit on the retail arb then, or is it mainly coming from your private label?
No, majority of it is private label, but then every time I find something in retail arb, I've changed my techniques what I used to do retail arb with completely in the last 1.5 years since I started private label. So initially my technique with the the retail arb was because I used to be a big fan of some of the American programs. I used to watch Auction Hunters and stuff, so that was my passion. If something like that was available in the UK, then I would have done that at a big stretch. So buying the container loads into the auction places and stuff like that. That doesn't happen too much for most of the items in the UK. But then initially when I started, I was doing retail arb based on scarcity model. So I had say particular niche. So say for example, if I was only doing electronics, I would only look at electronics and don't even worry about toys and other places. And then I would monitor what gets discontinued every year, so I would see the trends. So say for example, like iPhones, we know like changes every 1 year. They change it to say S version. Like Galaxy phones always change at the end of the year. I'm not saying that I was doing phones, but I'm just giving an idea. So I would know what the trends are into the category what I was into retail arb. And then I would start looking out for all the retailers like Argos, Tesco and everyone who are possibly going to sell their end-of-line products. And I know that once they sell off, and even Amazon, then those lines are not going to be available. So say, for example, my best items that I've ever sold till now were those flip camcorders. You know those flip camcorders when the bloggy ones came out?
Yeah.
When Argos cleared it on eBay, I bought it for £30, and I've sold them as high as £350.
Right, okay. That's quite a markup.
So those were the best items, and that's when I thought, I would continue with these scarcity models.
Yeah.
And very recently, what has happened is it's becoming obviously quite hard in some of the the niche that I find my retail item from. And then usually now the companies are changing their models every year, irrespective. It doesn't even make sense. Literally, I was looking at a camera the other day. Nikon had a camera last Christmas which was 16 megapixel. They discontinued that, and in the same range they brought out another one with 14 megapixel. Which doesn't make sense, but they want to just come out with new stuff so people can see something new and they will buy. So the scarcity model now doesn't work that much in UK. Maybe at least for the niche that I find my products in. For some, it still works. I can see some guys buy a pound book from a thrift store and then they sell it for 150, 200 pounds. So I'm not saying it's not there, but it's a bit hard, and then you have to spend so much time. What I now do is find current items, but whenever they are discounted a little bit, as long as I know I can, sell them a lot and make a fiver out of it. Just when I started podcast as well, along with Jason, there were a couple of other people who were asking me about retail up. The other Jason, not you.
Yeah.
I told him I didn't want to I didn't have that much funds at that time because I had invested a lot because I was getting ready for Prime Day deals for my private label. And I told him that I found a product. If you want, you can have that. It's a £50 product. August was doing a £5 voucher at that time. And if he sold that particular item, it was ranked 28 or 29 in that category. If he sold that, he could have made a fiver on that. And he said no. Later on that same week, I had some funds on my Amex, so they increased my limit. So I bought 293 of those units. I flipped them on Amazon. I sold all of them in 22 days, and I made, I think, 6 on average on that. Now, the way I normally do retail app is, first of all, I don't buy it in cash, or I normally buy it from my Amex card, which gives me 1.25% cash back. So on every 100, I got £1.25, plus I got £6 on every item that I sold. So it depends on how you look at it. So I don't now look at retail app that because I made that £300 plus on that camera which I sold 2 years back, I need to have only similar items to do retail app. I just go after current items. Now I'm trying to actually do a very interesting thing on the blog as well, even though it's not a very fancy blog because I don't even know how to blog too much. But the Amazon lending that I received yesterday, 84,000. I'm gonna try and kind of document my journey, what I'm doing with that.
So what stage do you have to get to before Amazon will obviously see that you're worthy to have this line?
They just started this for the first time in UK, and they don't give out those information. On the Prime Day deal, I went online at 12 o'clock just to see what I ended up on that particular day, and suddenly a new pop-up appeared on my screen saying that, do you want to lend money from Amazon, and this is the amount. And first I thought it's something like from another website, probably something came up, and I don't want to click it, but then it was in my seller section. So I logged out and logged back. And then I waited next day to speak to my FBA manager, and he got me connected to someone in the lending team. And she said, yeah. And I said, are you definitely going to approve me? She said, the lending team goes for it, but if you have received the property, then you are eligible for it. And I applied, someone called me, they asked me 2 or 3 questions, and they approved on the same day, and obviously
Was it? It's for £82,000, is it?
84,500.
Right. That sounds like a nice figure.
So this week I'm buying retail items worth 40,000.
Right, sure.
So my total cost, 6 months, the interest that I'm going to pay on to Amazon is 2,300 on that amount. And what I'm trying to do is just to make it a little bit more interesting. I don't know if I can actually do it properly on my blog, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to document like weekly or daily updates what I'm doing with that funds and how much money I'm making.
Cool.
It just creates a buzz for someone and motivates. Otherwise, there are people who don't discuss this kind of stuff, what they're doing with that.
Yeah, sure.
I thought it's worth to share because at least it motivates a lot of other people. So.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out. Yeah, most definitely. So sounds like Amazon are sort of doing a test and randomly picking
Yeah, it's based on what she told me was it's based on your past history and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
I think
sure.
it all depends as well. Sometimes they look how secure they are as well because I've got at the moment 20,000 units in the FBA
Right.
sector. So I'm sure they have all these things in their algorithm to see how much stock they already have from me in case I ran away with those 80 grand.
Right, sure, brilliant. It sounds like you're in a cave at the moment, Sarge.
Sorry?
Some really bad. Can you hear it?
I can just hear a lot of people. I don't know why.
Can you hear? Is anyone getting any echo?
Yeah.
It sounds like you're in a cave. Getting some feedback from someone's speakers.
What is it? Is it my voice?
Yes. It is, yeah.
Actually, I can hear your voice the same. I think everyone's voice is coming as an echo. I don't know. Maybe if you guys just mute it once and then unmute it back, it should be okay.
Well, it's only just come on. Maybe we'll be all headphones.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, are you using headphones, Sarge, or are you just using your speakers?
To me?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the iMac, so I'm not using it.
You're just using your speakers.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, there's a major echo.
As well now.
Hang on, let me plug in my speakers. Hang on a second.
Guys, I think if you just mute your microphone from the app itself, if you move your mouse on the top of the screen, it will give you an option to mute your microphone. If you just mute it and unmute it back, hopefully it should be okay.
Okay, I'll give that a go.
Right, can you hear me now?
Say something, Sarge.
Is that
Hello?
okay?
Yeah, no, that's better.
Yeah, it happens in Google Hangout, it happens quite a lot.
Oh, okay, that's what it is then. Right, okay, yeah, cool, thanks for that, man. When you're doing your private label stuff, do you place a lot of emphasis on your packaging and making it unique in that way? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we got the actor back.
Oh, hang on. Okay, let me just,
Can someone else find it? You can see if it's just you or me.
hello? Wow.
Okay, that definitely is an echo there.
I think Jason is probably new. Jason, can you mute yours and we'll see if they can hear echo on my voice as well.
Okay. Right.
Are you guys getting echo when I speak as well?
I don't get an echo now.
I'm getting an echo.
Oh, anyone?
I can hear Siva and others, but I can't hear the echo. Only when Jason speaks, I get a lot of echo.
I heard the echo when Jason was speaking earlier.
Yeah,
But,
let's push him out. I'm not even put so I can pick everything. Yeah, this happens quite a lot.
Yeah, Google Hangout. I've had this.
Google Hangout, so.
I've actually had this issue speaking to Google themselves as well. So yeah, that's actually funny.
Yeah, I'm sure when they start charging for these kind of stuff, then things would get better for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that better?
A little bit, but I think there's still echo. I think it's Google anyway, so.
Yeah, either that or a drop in the wireless.
The bandwidth as well, sometimes we just
Right.
do everything.
It's well off-putting, isn't it? Okay, man. Yeah. I was going to say, your private label products. Do you place a lot of emphasis on the packaging and stuff like that? Your private label stuff.
To me?
Yeah. Basically, you make it look a lot different to the competition. And put a lot of design effort into the packaging to make it obviously. You do that, yeah?
Yeah, because I'm not selling, because as I said, everyone has different approach. I mean, I can probably release 10 more products next week.
Yeah.
That I've been monitoring for a long time, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of building my own brand. So
Yeah.
I'm
So.
to kind of give an experience to a customer which they wouldn't have expected from a small item that they buy from me. But yes, it's just like, when I said once in my podcast episode as well, I don't know if you have anyone ever seen how the Amex card comes in when you apply for a Amex card for your business or your personal use. They'll pack it nicely. He's got, you know, those leaflets which are like proper shiny ones. But when you order or get your credit cards from your bank, it's like a plain white envelope. I don't even sometimes read it. I just, if it needs to be activated, I just activate it and throw the other stuff which I've received apart from the PIN numbers. But when I received package from Amex card, it was just like an experience. And even though I knew none of these things that I'm reading makes any sense or, you know, it's useful for me, but I was just going through the booklets and everything because it just looked flashy enough. And this is what, you know, a lot of online sellers are missing. When
yeah, because yeah, I mean, I'm trying to aim for sort of charging a little bit more for a slightly better quality product, and I think the way you do that is obviously a lot in the packaging.
Yeah.
Because like yourself, you're coming in at a slightly higher price, are you?
Yeah,
a quality product. And I think the most important thing if you're doing that is to give the impression that your product is obviously better quality with the packaging. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to give that right impression.
Yeah.
Do you say that's the case? Because I've spent a little bit more on my packaging, like customizing it, making it look really nice. It wasn't too much more. But I think if you're coming in at, say, £5 higher than a lot of the cheaper products, I think that you've got to do that. Would you say that's the case in your case?
Actually, there's two different kind of elements to that. First thing is, people who are buying your item or your brand for the first time, they don't know what your packaging is going to be like. So some of them who are just comparing it based on price wouldn't know that you're charging £5 more because of your product packaging or the experience that you're going to give them. So initially that's not going to happen. That's why if you're building a brand, then you can spend so much money because then they're going to come back to you later on thinking, okay, next time I need probably the same item or something in the similar niche. Let me just spend £5 more because the item I received from Jason had XYZ. But initially when they looked at your listing, they didn't knew that you have a premium packaging or premium product because everyone writes premium nowadays.
Right, sure.
I think more than the sort of packaging. I mean, packaging is one thing, but I think, you know, the quality of the product is obviously possibly the most important. But if you can make it, you know, if you say had, you know, I don't know, 20 competitors selling the same product that you did, and you made yours a little bit more unique in the sense that you bundle something else with the product to make it unique. There are two things there, I think. One is obviously, you know, you've got a better experience than your competitors for a start, you know, and if you look at, you know, what other things sell versus the products that your competitors are selling, etc., and you kind of mix and match into your one package, and you have a really nice brand going, you know, the customer's got a nice experience there. But I think the other thing as well, and this is very, very high in the US at the moment, is that you have a lot of competitors, so-called, coming on and hijacking listings, if you like. And it's primarily those that, and this is very true for the US, is if you don't make your product or your package distinct from your competition, what then happens is that someone else can just easily create a product listing and sell under your brand effectively. And sometimes they might lower the price and then they get the buy box, which then means you actually lose sales, but what the, you know, they might be selling a second-rated product that is nowhere near the quality that you are selling, but you might end up getting the bad reviews if you like. So I don't know about the UK, but I know in the US, if you were going to do a private label, make yours as unique as possible and set your branding apart.
Yeah, that's what I've done with my packaging because they'd have to really go some to copy my packaging and on there and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's got my brand all over it, so which is my mentality really, is to try and make it different and as brand focused as possible, and to aim to a certain market with the colours and the way it looks and stuff like that. So I think it's worth spending a little bit more on doing that and differentiating yourself as much as possible, and then, you know, making sure you've got a good product.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I'm considering with my second product is, rather than doing the initial investment, I might go down, and I haven't, you know, decided yet, but I might go down the AliExpress route, get maybe five units in without doing any sort of branding, just to see if it sells.
Yeah.
And if it then sells, then I'll go and invest the money into branding and packaging.
Yeah. I think it's the ease of sale with AliExpress. You just basically place the order. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
And you can actually have it shipped to you, and then you can ship it off to FBA, and let Amazon take care of it. But it's a smaller MOQ. In fact, there's really no MOQ with most of them. You can just get 2 or 3 units initially, depending on the size of the unit as well. I mean, if you go sort of undersized, you could maybe get, say, 20 units easily for not a lot of money, and just see if it sells on Amazon. And then once you see the traction's there, I mean, you can even stick your own, like print your own label and just stick it on the product and send it off to FBA, and then see if it sells.
Yeah, so it's a good way to quickly test it, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. And you're not, you might spend, say, maybe $300-500 on it, but it's not something that breaks the bank, and you could easily quickly test to see if something's going to work or not, and then get your bigger amount of inventory in.
So you guys planning on putting an insert card inside with your product to capture email addresses or anything like that? You guys thought about that, or are you just literally just throwing your product out there without thinking about maybe capturing email addresses from people?
I have thought about it. I don't have an insert card just yet, but I can get an insert card into my my product. But I'm not quite ready yet to capture people's email addresses just yet. So I'm gonna. I might do it when things are a little bit more stable. Then I'll put an insert card in, because there's literally, I think, 5 to 10 cents to get an insert card put in anyway.
Yeah.
Producing a video and directing people to that and capturing their email addresses from them seeing the video on a way to keep my product in tip-top nick, so hopefully we'll want to click.
Yeah, but it has a lot more interest, doesn't it? Capture people's attention more. And that sounds good. Has anybody else got any questions?
Actually, I wanted to ask Sarge a question. When you have your product, I just wanted to find out a bit more about the that you put on, because I'm trying to figure out where to put made in China. Should I get my designer to actually put that on the packaging, or should I create like a separate label and then stick that on top of the product?
I can't hear you, Sarge.
I'm muting myself because it was echoing so much. Yeah, I mean, if you are making your packaging for both marketplaces, then obviously I would say just, get the made in China made, put it on the packaging itself, because then you don't have to worry about it. Otherwise, it's fine. I mean, as long as they can put it on your packaging, it's much better, because then you can use the same packaging in both marketplaces or wherever you decide to release that. If they put sticker on as well, I don't think so it's much problem. But it will be cost effective to do it without, because then they'll add a couple of pence charge for the labor to put the stickers on. But when they're printing your boxes or your packaging, it's much easier because they can just print it there.
Okay, and where do you put the FNSKU sticker?
I'm sorry?
Where do you put the FNSKU
FNSKU. That you can put anywhere on the package.
Not use one.
Usually, if you leave it where exactly you normally put the barcode, so if you prepare your packaging, where they would normally design where you could put your barcode, you could just replace that with the FNSKU label. But literally, you could actually, depending on your product, you can put it on anywhere you like, to be honest. We got Martin on now.
Hi, Sarge.
Martin, nice to see you. How you doing?
That's Martin. That's from my course.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
I think I was using the wrong email on the Google. I think that was the problem.
You were probably trying to use the link for the last class hangout, I think.
I think I've added a couple of emails, Sarge. Yeah. I think that was the problem on Google.
Okay.
Okay, we're there now anyway.
Excellent. Yeah, I just wanted to say what Francis was just saying about the Made in China the text. Is that required just for US, FBA?
Yes.
It's not UK, is it?
No, I've never put anything made in UK. in the UK.
Yeah, US requires you have to put made in China, I think.
Cool. Right.
I've got to go, folks. I'm sorry. Thanks. It's been really interesting.
Cool.
Okay. You take care, everybody.
All right.
And Sarge, don't forget to put that link up for your videos.
All the best, man.
Okay.
See you
Bye.
later.
But
Right, okay, cool. I just wanted to quickly touch on when you launch a product, when you've got product in FBA, the launch. Like a lot of people place a lot of emphasis on the launch, and a lot of people not too sure how to strategize their launch. A lot of people say that the best thing to do is to use a Facebook ads group and targeted people, and then use a landing page as well, so you can capture their email addresses, and then you can use that same group every time you launch products in the future. Have you used that, Sarge, at all, or?
No, I've never.
Not really. Okay.
Stuff. As I said, when we started, there was no Facebook ads, and I mean,
Yeah, sure.
especially like sponsored ads and things like that. So
What did you do? What
I
did
just
you
launched
do?
my product with the proper keywords and then just waited.
Pay per click, yeah. That's it.
That's it.
I think
Product is about 1900 reviews. None of them are fake. Not a single one.
Right. Okay.
I think you could spend quite a lot of time trying to get a Facebook page set up, and you've got to then get Facebook ad set up, and obviously Facebook have just recently changed their entire ad platform. I think you could spend a lot of time doing that, or you could spend the time actually doing your Amazon PPC, which is probably going to be more cost effective for you, because it's basically the customer is on the Amazon platform, and when you're in that mindset of buying and purchasing, you're more likely to actually get a better return on that. So personally, for me, I mean, I know I was looking through Scott's video yesterday. He had a sort of a workshop, and I know a lot of the information was when he started sort of the podcast back in sort of April or March, where you create a Facebook page and all of that. But I think it is a lot of time and effort to do that when all you really want to do is start selling your product. You don't really need that pre-launch anyway, especially if you're not sure if it's going to work just yet either. A small amount of units, you might, like I find myself in at the moment, kind of tethering on launching a second product under a completely different brand, potentially because of the competitiveness of the niche I'm in. Right. If I've done a Facebook page, etc., I've just wasted all that effort for nothing.
How do you keep your initial reviews in? Do you have a number for the initial reviews you have before going to people?
I did it. I started with no reviews myself, but I think if I was to start again, I'll probably do some giveaway. I might go through. I'm doing a test with Snackshout at the moment.
Okay.
And so far, I've had 7 reviews out of 24 giveaways, and they reckon there will be more reviews coming up. In fact, 8 reviews, sorry. So and they claim to have like an 80-85% thing. So I'm just doing this test with Snackshout, and if it works, then I might do it with them. There are so many other services out there you could use, though.
Yeah.
There's Thomason. I'm not a big fan of Thomason, but there's Thomason, and there's I Love to Review, which is a little bit more expensive. Then there's also the Blast services, which I'm a bit skeptical about using. So yeah, I guess you just have to test these things and see, Snackshout might work for someone, but it's not going to work for another product, and that sort of stuff. So you just have to test it, really.
I mean, it's just that just like yourself, Steve. I'm going into quite a competitive market where people got thousands of reviews.
Yeah, I know.
So me going in with no reviews, I don't really want to do that. But I mean, there's a lot of depth, and there's people with 200 reviews, 300 reviews on the second and third pages.
Yeah.
And they're doing a lot of volume. So big market, but
I think you would have to find your middle ground there. If you find that you've got say 200 or 300, see, that's one of the problems I've got is that some of the competition is 1,000 reviews and above, and then some of them have got 300-400, and they're selling well. The problem is, I have to look at Camel to see if their sales is as a result of some giveaways that they're doing. And I kind of use Camel to kind of tell me what their last month's BSR has been, because if you see a sudden spike in BSR, they've probably thrown a lot of products and given it away to kind of spike the rankings.
You do that for the competitors with the highest reviews, or just basically the ones that you're going to compete with say 200 to 300 reviews?
Well, I look at I tend to look at sort of who are in the middle and the ones at the top.
Okay. And it's okay to do that, isn't it? Like to only compete with people on the page and on the bottom of the page. You don't have to compete with the people right at the top.
No, you don't. No. Because the thing is, what you have to realize as well, I think, and maybe Sach would have more of this, but I think if you rank at about, in some categories, if you rank at 10,000, for example, you could be selling 20, 30 units a day. Some other categories, 10,000 means maybe 5 units a day. So you kind of have to work out, what sort of target BSR you need to be at to be making that 10 by 10 by 1 rule, if you like.
Sure.
And also then you have to look at, is that scope for you to actually grow? Because there's no point in you doing the 10 by 10 by 1 and then not being able to actually push that any further. You want to try and obviously grow that into, say, 20 units a day and 30 units a day.
Okay. I mean, because my market's quite competitive, but there's no one sitting with a certain type of person in mind, you see, and a certain type of style and design, which is big considering who the product is for.
Yeah.
So that's what I've targeted, you see, and I think it will take up quite a lot of sales. So that's what I'm hoping. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm just going to throw everything at it and see what happens. Especially if we're trying a market because we've got a lot of debt, so there's a lot of competition in a market that hasn't got enough volume.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, volume is obviously the huge thing. I mean, you want to make sure at least from 1 to 10 or 1 to 6 customers is reasonably well.
Okay. All right. Has anybody else got any questions, or I'll just quickly scroll through my list? Okay. Yeah, I found a good tip actually, because a lot of people don't know their numbers, as in when they're doing PPC and they're selling, say, a few products, that they don't really know exactly how much it's costing them per product for PPC, the FBA order handling fee, the pick and pack fee, weight handling fee, the referral fee, and they don't actually know exactly how much they're making at the moment in time for each item. I think it's quite important to keep track of that in an easy way. I think the best way I found, I mean, you probably already know this, but if you go into your Amazon backend and then you click onto orders at the top, I think you've got manage orders up there. You've got the figure that you sold, the customer paid for your item. You click on that figure, and then it then transfers you to a page which gives you the figure without the FBA fees. And then you click on that figure, and it gives you the full breakdown of how much Amazon have charged you for that particular item at that moment in time, for the FBA order handling fee, the pick and pack fee, weight handling fee, and the referral commission fee. So you can add all those four together, as well as your ACOS and PPC, and then obviously your production costs, shipping costs to FBA, and that just gives you your totals there. So if you forget, so if you're selling 3 or 4 or 5 items on Amazon, you just quickly click on that, and it just gives you the full breakdown of how much Amazon are charging you for that particular item, which I thought was really good, because a lot of people thought they worked out their fees. They're looking at lists on Google and stuff, or trying to work out how to being charged by Amazon in their categories and stuff, and a lot of the time they're slightly out. So it's quite interesting to actually go in there, click, and actually see how much Amazon is actually billing you for that item for those particular things. So I thought that was quite good.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Does that give you more information than the FBA revenue calculator?
Basically, the revenue calculator, I noticed FBA Amazon saying that's not 100% accurate. Has anyone seen that? They're saying it's just a guide.
Basically, it doesn't take into account VAT and taxation. That's why we differ a little bit. So when I look at myself, I get charged fees extra. But because you guys are, for example, sitting in the UK, you are not VAT registered, you're going to get charged more. So that's why you see a little bit differences, because the one that you see in the calculator is the X VAT amount. So whenever they charge you, it's going to be including VAT on every aspect of that. That's why it's a little bit different. And people,
Okay.
I personally think, I mean, I've been on some of the Facebook groups. I think even 99% of the people who have jumped into their first or second products, they haven't even calculated most of the stuff. I see people are happy with their ACOS rate on the sponsored ad over 100%, and they're happy about it. That's not how you do business. I know everyone's excited, so I don't want to discourage anyone, but that's something to be happy about, because it's costing a lot.
True.
And the ACOS is not, you need to understand, Amazon is not showing you ACOS based on the profit that you're making. They're comparing it with your selling price. Your selling price is not your profit. So your ACOS turns even into worse when you compare that with the profits that you're making.
Yeah.
So if you spend, say, £100 on your particular keyword and you had £100 sales, obviously it's going to show you ACOS of that percentage. People are happy with that because it's showing less than their selling price. But that's not the profit that they're making.
Yeah, sure.
So many other aspects. I mean, Martin would know. I've given them the tracker sheet, which normally before they import the product, they include each and every small expense that they're gonna have. So your customs, your duty, small expenses like sending it to FBA, packaging. There's so many other expenses you have to take care of even before your item is sold. Once you have made profit on your sales, then you got so many other things like your taxation and other expenses which come out as a generic business expense. I think half of them actually don't even calculate all these things to start with. Because I guess some of them don't even still know what kind of, they are trying to figure out in most of the Facebook groups, once they receive the customs and duty notification for payment from DHL or whatever, that, oh, they're asking you to pay so much. So where did your research come from? When you research your product, that's when you have to calculate all this stuff.
Cool.
Sarge, what is the referral item fee? You know what the referral item fee on a product is?
That's your selling. So it's a variable fee depending on what you are selling. So say for example, if I was selling a PlayStation console, I would get charged 7% because I'm red.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So you get 8.4% something.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Right, okay. I've got to shoot off, guys. But yeah, really nice to meet you. And yeah, thanks a lot, Sarge, for setting this up. I know you're
I
busy.
put this recording on the. I'll put this recording on YouTube and then send out, the link to
That'd be brilliant. Yeah.
the group as well, so someone who's missed out and probably want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, really appreciate it, mate. Yeah, nice one.
Cool.
So I'll speak to you next time anyway.
All right, take care.
Okay, well, take care,
All
guys.
right. See you, Jackson. All right.
All right, so I don't know if you guys have anything to discuss, otherwise we could probably end it.
Yeah. Well, I've got to shoot off as well, so but it was nice.
Weekend always people are busy.
Yeah. Are you guys all? Whereabouts are you guys from? I mean, most of you guys from London or other parts of England? Or?
Yeah, I'm from the Midlands in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think most of them. I mean, this is the first time last few months I've seen UK groups. Otherwise, there was never any like UK groups for any.
Yeah, there is a meetup group in London which I went to, which is quite actually interesting. Which is, I don't know if you were there, Sarge, where currencies direct.
Sponsored ones.
Sorry.
The ones that iWalker sponsors.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was quite good, but I think it'll be nice to sort of meet up, and face to face if we can, and sort of bounce ideas around. I mean this works as well, but obviously when the technology doesn't work as well, then it becomes a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I mean I'm thinking for doing it for my podcast group as well, but
yeah.
Let's have some more people in. because UK community is quite small at the moment. So even the Facebook group that I've got for podcasts, I think we're only about 200 plus people. But then he's got more US as well.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting because I can't juggle too many things at the same time. 3 guest interviews to be done this week, and then I'm on one of other podcast interviews. So all the things are going to be done in the next few weeks. And I've got Martin, because we're still on module 3 now. We still have 3 more modules to do for my batch 1 course. So once that's done, hopefully then we are going to be planning some meetup as well.
I think you'll be ready for a break.
Sorry?
You're ready for a holiday.
You know what? I had planned holiday this week and next week. Because I launched my course, I actually cancelled my holidays, and 2 of my students are already on holidays now.
Right.
So they didn't cancel even after they signed up for the course. If you know Martin, Giselle is in Venezuela for 2 months. Al has gone on holiday. So yeah, but I have to be here because I'm still preparing some of the course content for the last module. So hopefully I'll go once we have done this.
Well, I'll be there tomorrow anyway, Serge, definitely.
Yeah. We're definitely there for the class.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Well, when we get time.
Cool.
Right.
I got to shoot, so it was good meeting all of you.
Same here.
You too, mate. You too.
Cool.
Bye.
All the best.
Bye, Francis.
All right, take care. Bye, guys.
Good luck. Bye.